Hi, I'm Soraya and I'm a hypnobirthing mother of two with one goal, to empower women through birth. So if you want to learn more about pregnancy, birth and motherhood with a focus on hypnobirthing, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my future videos. Well, hello guys, I'm finally back. Tomorrow's gonna be my baby's 2 weeks anniversary, and I'm sorry I haven't been able to upload my birth vlog yet. I've been trying to find the time, but honestly I've been really overwhelmed with breastfeeding and trying to find our rhythms. Baby's here in the back now, but I don't know how much time I have. So little update about what you're going to see on this birth vlog is pretty much all the footage since we got to the hospital until I was like with the epidural already. The pushing part is not recorded. You will see it's crazy story and it all happened like very fast. Kind of a strange weird thing, and so I'll explain you that later when we get to that part, and I'll do some explanations in between all the recordings from that day. Everything went well, baby's healthy, mommy's healthy, but like I said, these 2 weeks have been crazy. I think because my first child was born 15 years ago, I already forgot how much commitment breastfeeding requires, and we had a couple of crazy nights with cluster feeding, which I would love to talk about in a different video so that new mamas are aware of what to expect and don't freak out, and get patient and strong, so that you can continue breastfeeding and pass that like hard time about it. But now everything is fine. Like I said, just a little bit of out of control feeds, but other than that we are good. So that's my little introduction, and now I'm gonna let you enjoy the video.
Aquí estamos.
For a possible induction, and we don't know what's gonna happen. It was very unexpected, right? And let's see. We'll have to be there for a while, so. Guys, okay, so quick little update. I'm in triage. They check my cervix. I am only 1 centimeter dilated, which I kind of expected because baby girl was not engaged yet. They're inducing me because they diagnosed me with cholecystitis. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly, but I think it's a good reason to get induced. That's why I accepted it, because there is high risk for babies, so we want to make sure that she's born healthy, and so I agreed with the induction. And the thing is, because I was only 1 centimeter, then they had to use some medical device to shorten my cervix, which they are using this kind of balloon that they put inside your vagina and they inflate and it stays there. First they did a sweep, so basically they put your fingers in really high up and then they kind of like open up that space in between the membranes, so the waters and the cervix, so that it separates it a little bit, so that can help the cervix dilate faster. And they said that, well, as you know, I live in Banff and I'm in Calgary's hospital, which is 1 hour away, so we didn't know if with this balloon apparently it can take up to 12 hours to dilate. So we know we're gonna be here for a while, and if I was to stay with the balloon only, my husband would have to go home and I will have to stay here for as long as it takes, just depending on how things go. Maybe the balloon breaks or my water breaks or no, and then I'll have to call my husband to come back. So at the end they talked to the OBG, and they decided that because this is my second pregnancy and my cervix is quite soft, they think this is gonna go faster, so They are leaving the balloon. They are giving me some time now to eat something because I came in the morning just with breakfast and I haven't eaten anything. So my husband went to grab just some quick sandwich or something just to have on my stomach. Although I'm not really hungry, I'm excited because I didn't expect to give birth today. But we'll see how it goes. The balloon was a tiny bit uncomfortable, but I cannot say it was painful. Actually, the sweep was a bit more uncomfortable than the balloon. The balloon is now there, so I can move. I can go to the bathroom if I need to, or anything like that. And what else? I don't want to forget anything. I'm trying my hypnobirthing meditations and affirmations. I'm trying to be as relaxed as possible, breathing really deep, and softening my muscles in the face because they correlate to the uterus, so that everything is nice and soft down there. I'm talking to my baby, letting her know that we're gonna be fine and she has nothing to worry about, that very soon she's gonna be in my arms. And I guess it's kind of a little bit of pressure for baby just to all of a sudden being kicked out of your home, right? So I want to make sure that she knows that she's fine, that I can't wait to meet her, and that we're gonna be together outside in the world very soon. And other than that, yeah, I'm gonna keep just doing my meditations too, so that I visualize like a flower opening down there, or even my cervix just shortening up and opening up, so that I can help with the visualizations. I understand that they help a lot too to get things going. And I'm just trying to be as positive and relaxed. Obviously, this was not at all part of my plans, but you know, I think life knows better, and if this is the way it was agreed in between our souls to welcome this baby girl, then there must be a reason for it. And yeah, I'm just happy that I'm gonna see her soon. And it was very unexpected. I had no idea. I thought I was gonna go to the hospital, to the clinic today, and just talk about the cholestasis. And yeah, I didn't expect at all to be laboring today. So I don't think I've missed anything. After lunch, they are going to put me on oxytocin to accelerate medically my contractions. I'm gonna try natural and meditating as much as I can. I don't know if I'll be able to manage the contractions because they are induced artificially, so I know they are stronger and they come closer together when they do. So I'm open to asking for an epidural if I need to, and we'll see. I'm just gonna try all my resources and keep calm and meditate and breathe, and if I feel like the contractions get too intense, I will definitely ask for an epidural, but we'll see. So yeah, I just wanna give birth in peace and calm. So even if it's with an epidural, I'm not gonna feel like I failed or anything. I'm still giving birth this baby, and I'm still in power and in control to do it in the best way and most calm and harmonious possible way. Epidural or not, we'll see. But I'm just happy to do it peacefully, and I think the epidural, if it gets too intense, can help me with that. So we'll see. For now, that's all. Talk later. So this is our bedroom. Pretty good, actually. Big bathroom. It's for baby. Bathroom has this and a shower. It's nice. Okay, so in here, next you're going to see me already inducted. So I had this balloon inserted into my VJJ, and uh, I don't know. I thought it was very scary, but at the end it wasn't as bad as I thought. They just put it in like really quick. It took like literally 1 minute to put the balloon in, and the balloon was like, I don't know, like this big, and it gets inserted into, yeah, your body, and that makes the cervix dilate. So in the next part of the video, you will see that I think my balloon already was taken out, and I was 3 centimeters dilated. They wanted to do another vaginal checkup to see how much dilated I was, because they needed to increase the oxytocin every hour. So depending on how much I was dilating, they would increase the oxytocin more or less. And so one thing that I wanted to point out is that the vaginal exams were really, really uncomfortable. And I don't like to use the word painful at birth, but the vaginal exams were really painful. I had a really hard time. I didn't remember that pain from my first birth, and it was because all of them were done under an epidural. But this time I had a few vaginal exams without an epidural, and it was horrible. Like, I wanted to decline them. But at the same time, I knew if I wasn't very dilated and I had to wait until 10 centimeters, then I started to doubt myself if I would be able to manage any other vaginal exam. Like, I wasn't worried about the contractions. The contractions I could manage, even though they had been increasing the intensity of them. But I could breathe through them and relax, actually. But the vaginal exams were traumatic. I didn't want to go through any of them. So I said, okay, I have 2 options. One, I put the epidural so that they do the vaginal exams and I don't suffer through them. Or 2, I don't put the epidural and I let them do as many vaginal exams as they want, which was stressing me out and creating anxiety because they were very painful. So at the end, I said, well, I don't want to take the epidural too early because I don't want this to stop or, create any more space for other interventions. So I said, I'm going to suck it up one more time. I'm going to let them do another vaginal exam and see how dilated I am, because that will give me an idea of how much longer I have to go or whatever. Anyways, wasn't my first option, but I had to decide to do something. So I let them do another vaginal exam, and I dilated 1 centimeter more, so I was 4 centimeters dilated, which I was happy about. Like, okay, my first birth took way longer, and I was doing it without an epidural, so I was fine. But then I said, okay, I'm not going to go through more vaginal exams because, like I said, they were really hurtful. And if I had to dilate from 4 centimeters to 10 centimeters, I said, you know what, I think I'm gonna need an epidural, because I knew I didn't want to go through that more pain. And this being an induction, not a natural birth, the contractions were going to be stronger with the oxytocin, and something that they need to determine how much more oxytocin it is to see how much dilated I am. So I knew that I could not decline the vaginal exams at this point, because it was the only way for them to continue the induction. So yeah, let's continue watching what happened. Okay, so another quick little update. It is, what time is it? 8:40? It's 8:40 p.m. They took my balloon out, and I'm 3 centimeters, well, I was 3 centimeters at 7. They are increasing the contractions, intensity. I feel good, I can manage, I can talk, so I don't know how intense this is gonna get, but for now I feel okay. Yeah, I wanna show one contraction, it will come soon. It is so good for now. I've been standing for most part of it, so sitting on the ball has helped relax a little bit my hips, and I feel most of my contractions. There is coming one. Okay, and so here next you're gonna see me already with the epidural. I asked for it, and when they put it in, I felt a little, I don't know, a little sharp pain in my right glute, and it felt like really weird, but I kept calm and you know, just let it do its job or whatever. So I got the epidural, and I said, okay, now I'm going to relax. I know this is now just going to be easy peasy, you know, and I was like really calm. I told my husband to go to sleep and rest because at the time of pushing I wanted him to be there with me. And what happened was that I put my hypnobirthing meditations and affirmations, and the nurses left me in the room along with my husband, and I was in bed obviously, and so I started feeling the numbness in my lower body. And like I said, I put my meditations on, my husband was sleeping, and I was just relaxing for the next couple of hours. And all of a sudden I started feeling that my right leg was really frozen, but my left leg was not. My lower belly was completely frozen, so I didn't feel anything on my belly, but my legs was the first thing I noticed that there was something wrong. So I didn't care about the legs because I felt, well, contractions are not felt on the legs, so I'm okay. But all of a sudden I start feeling contractions on the left side of my belly, and the contractions were intense. Let me tell you, like really, really intense, to the point where I was like having to concentrate, focus, breathe, turn on my left side, grab my, you know, the side of the bed and hold into it. It was like some kind of, I don't know, like it would make me feel better to hold into it. And I thought, okay, I can manage this. But at the same time I was thinking, well, if I got the epidural, I don't want to feel any pain, obviously, because what's the point then of having this done? But I said, well, I think I can manage this. I can manage this. So I thought, like, I still have to dilate until 10 centimeters. So this is going to get worse. So it's okay. I can manage this. I can manage this. I keep waiting. But the contractions start being like really, really strong. And I had to like really, I mean, my breathing was like really deep and from the gut, like, oh, you know, but it was me just focusing on it and breathing through them. Yeah, they were so strong. I thought I'm gonna have to call the nurse and let her know this is not what I want. I have the epidural already, so I wanted to make an effect, right? So the nurse came in, and I'm in a lot of pain, and she's like, don't worry, you're doing great. Maybe it's because you are dilated a lot more. Let's check you up. She does a quick vaginal exam, and she's like, oh, you see, you are 6 centimeters now, and that's why you're feeling this. And I'm like, well, I'm feeling it on one side, not the other. So if I had the epidural, I wanted to numb me, right? Like, what's the point of having it if I'm gonna have these intense feelings? And so she said, okay, I'm gonna call someone else. And then like I was having these contractions every 2 minutes that were like very, very intense. So my husband woke up from my noises and came by and said, are you okay? What's happening? And I'm like, I can feel very intense contractions. I need to, I mean, no, now that I remember, I didn't even answer him because I was so focused on managing the intensity that I could not answer. So he was there asking me, and I was just like grabbing his hand, like saying, I'm sorry, I can't talk, but you know, like thinking, I'm sorry, I can't talk, but I need to focus on this. And then I feel like I entered this kind of trance because I was not aware of the time. I was just breathing through these intense contractions every 2 minutes, and I know people were coming in and out, but for me it was like 10-15 minutes of that intensity. And all of a sudden I see another nurse coming in, and she says, oh my god, she's 9 centimeters dilated. And I'm like, what did she say? 9 centimeters? It's been only 15 minutes. You know, I was thinking like, it's impossible. And then I see the doctor coming in, and she's like, oh, she's 10 centimeters dilated and 100% effaced, so she's ready to push. And I open the eyes and I see everybody getting ready. Obviously I was numb, so I could not be on all fours or squatting or anything because I could not feel my legs. I could not stand, I could do anything. I had to push in the worst position, like, you know, this, which I was trying to avoid, but with the epidural, that's what I had to deal with anyways. And so yeah, I was in this kind of trance, like what I thought was 10-15 minutes was in reality maybe 1 hour or 2, according to my husband. but I was just focusing on the contractions. So at the end, the good thing personally for me is that I was able to feel how the contractions feel at 10 centimeters, how intense they were, and I was managing them for 2 hours, even though in my mind was like 10-15 minutes, which is crazy. But I felt like, well, I'm having the epidural, I'm doing this in a different way than what I expected. But at the end, personally, I thought, well, I knew I could do this. If I would have had a midwife and I was in a different place, I could have done this naturally on my own. So that kind of gave me power. So that was really cool. And at the end, they changed my position and the anesthesia went through the left side. So at the very end, in a couple of minutes, the anesthesia started to make its effect and I stopped feeling the contractions right before pushing. Okay, so I thought I had more footage of me after the epidural, but I only have those pictures where I was just laying it down in bed and saying, okay, I'm fine, I'm fine. But then all that I just told you happened. And so, yeah, everybody was surrounding me and all the nurses were so nice. I didn't really care that there were so many. There was one on each of my legs, and then the resident doctor was in front of me, helping me delivering the baby, and then the OBGYN was beside us. Weird thing happened, like the whole labor, the baby's heart was perfectly fine, and they were saying, all of them, they were telling to me, oh, you have such a happy baby, she's totally fine, her heart rate is amazing all the time. Like they were repeating that so often that I'm like, okay, baby girl is fine. But at some point when I was about to start pushing, the doctor says, oh, the heart rate just dropped a lot, we need to do continuous monitoring, fetal monitoring, with the one that they book with a black that they put on the scalp of the baby. And that was one of the most traumatic things that I had to do on my first labor with my first child, and I didn't want to do that at all. So I started arguing with the doctor saying, no, I don't want that, that's a medieval tool, you know, I don't want to put anything on her scalp, and I want her to be, you know, welcome in a different way. And she was like, well, this is very dangerous because we don't have a heart rate. I'm like, but it's the machine, it's not the baby. I can feel her moving, I can feel her fine. The whole labor she has been fine, and everybody has been telling me how happy she is and how well her heart rate it is. And you know, well, all of a sudden, like, you lose the monitor of the heart for a minute and you want to do this now. At the end, I had to surrender because, like I say, you are in a state of vulnerability where, you know, whatever they tell you is going to cause an impact on your mind, and you think, oh, is this the best, or what should I do? But you're about to push a baby out, so it's like all this mixture of emotions that you have to go really quick and make decisions really quick, and they're telling you things that cause you fear, and obviously you want the baby to be okay. So at the end I said, okay, whatever, do it. And she did it. They got the heart rate, but it was like a bit lower than she should be. And I said, well, of course it's lower, you just put something on her scalp. Like, how would you feel if you had something attaching to your head? Like, you don't even know what it is. Like, you know, maybe that's affecting her heart rate now or whatever. So anyways, she said that, and because at some point she was losing the heart rate even with the continuous monitoring, she told me to deliver the baby with a vacuum, and that was not something I was going to agree with. So I said, no, I don't want the vacuum, and we started arguing. And at the same time, they were telling me when to push. They were coaching me to push because obviously I couldn't feel anything. So when the contraction started, they would tell me to breathe and push really hard. Again, I was pushing as hard as I possibly could, but I could not manage where to send that force, you know. Like, it's like you try your best and pray for the best, and that's what I did. And the thing is, like, the doctor and I were kind of arguing, like, we need to use the vacuum, we need to use the vacuum. I'm like, no, the vacuum is risky, she can have a brain hemorrhage and I don't want to risk that. I can push her out, I know I can. Just like, well, but it's very dangerous because I cannot see the heart rate. Like, we wouldn't tell you to do this if it wasn't safe. And I'm like, I know, but you know, if something goes wrong, it's me who's gonna have to deal with that. So yeah, it was kind of crazy that I had to argue with the doctor while I was pushing because I was running out of breath all the time, had to push this baby out. But the good thing was, like, when she saw me pushing, man, she changed her mind. She said, okay, well, if you keep pushing like this, maybe I will allow you to do it this way. And I was thinking, you will allow me? What the? Yeah, you won't allow me. Like, I will allow you to do or not do because this is my choice. This is my body. Anyways, I get very frustrated when I talk about this because yeah, I shouldn't be arguing, I should be focused on what I was doing. But at the end, like I said, she told me that if I kept pushing that way, apparently I was pushing really well and the baby was coming out really easily, then she would let me deliver my baby through pushing without having to use the vacuum. So I didn't get like what she was saying. I said, I'm not gonna let you use the vacuum, and that's it. So I was like confident that she couldn't do it because she didn't have my consent, and everybody was impressed at how strong I was at pushing. And my husband was beside me, and he could see my frustration, but I was really focused on my breathing and my pushing. I wasn't even listening to the doctor anymore. I could just listen to my husband saying, Soraya, you're doing amazing. I can almost see her, and I'm like, are you saying this just to encourage me, or is it true? Can you really see her? And he was like, I totally can see her, and I mean, you're doing amazing. I can see the hair. Like, come on, like a couple more pushes like that, and it's gonna be out. It's impressive. Like, you're doing amazing. I'm so proud. Like, he was giving me all this encouragement, and I was like, okay, my husband is here. He can see our baby, so this is coming. And I kept pushing. Really, I pushed for in between 15 to 20 minutes, and finally my baby was born. Like, actually, when she came out, I could not believe it had been so fast. It all went through in my mind. It was like, okay, I was 3 centimeters dilated. They did a vaginal exam. I had dilated another centimeter. I put the epidural. I lay down for 2 hours, listened to hypnobirthing affirmations. I'm relaxed. All of a sudden, epidural doesn't go well on my left side, and I start feeling the most intense contractions I've ever had. And a nurse comes by and says, you are 6 centimeters. And then in my mind, 5 minutes after, another nurse comes by and say, you are 9 centimeters. And a minute after, in my mind, of course, because this was like about 2 hours, but in reality, in my mind, it was like 15 minutes. The doctors come by and say, you're ready to push. I argue a little bit with the doctor about the vacuum, this and that. I start pushing, and in 15 minutes, my baby was born. So I went from 3 centimeters dilation to pushing in 15 minutes, my baby born, in my mind. So it was like, it was mind-blowing, really. Like, I thought, like, how did this happen? I could not believe it. Anyways, long story short, I have some footage of after, like right after when I got my baby. Like I said, the pushing and all this encouragement and all this discussion with the doctor is not recorded, obviously, but that's how it went, both in my mind and in reality. Baby girl is here, and I think she's waking up. She might be hungry, so I might have to stop and continue later. Hi, baby girl. Okay, you want to stay there and fall asleep? It's fine. Yes, she's falling asleep again, I think. Fingers crossed. Anyways, what else? Yeah, that's how it went in my mind. It was, like I said, mind-blowing. Like, it went so fast. So yeah, long story short, I went to the Calgary hospital at 1 p.m. At 4 p.m. they started the oxytocin, the induction with the balloon and everything. I started having contractions for every 2 minutes right away, and I had managed those contractions until 9 p.m. when I had the epidural perfectly fine. And then everything else happened at 6:17 a.m. Baby girl was born, and she was in my arms, and I was the happiest woman in the world. She was healthy. She was already trying to look at me. I could not see her because I was laying down in bed, and I was trying to look at her, and she was trying to look at me. She was like wide awake. She was super calm. She barely cried. They didn't wash her, so she had all her vernix on her, and I was just skin to skin for the next hour and a half. And she tried breastfeeding and everything. Like, she was on my skin all the time, like for the 1.5 hours after birth. Then in the same room, a nurse asked me if I wanted to see how much she weighed, and I told her yes. So she weighed 3 kilos 420 grams. So this takes me back to my other videos where they were putting a lot of fear in me because baby girl was too big, and at 8 months pregnancy they said she was 3 kilos and 800 grams, and the reality is she was born with 3 kilos 420. So ultrasounds are not as accurate as they think, so you know, they put me at high risk. One of the reasons was for that, and I had to deliver in a hospital that was 1 hour far away from where I live, because of that reason, instead of delivering 15 minutes away from home in the hospital that is near to my town. All based in these measurements, you know, like I said, don't overthink it sometimes when they give you all this information, because like I said, not everything is as accurate as they think, and then every birth and every mom and every baby are different, so all these statistics don't work the same for everybody. Anyways, I think baby girl is getting up soon, so yeah, I don't know if I'm missing something. Let's keep watching the other footage I have and see how it goes. So I got epidural and then baby is born. Oh, mi amor. Ay, qué pequeñita eres. Ay. Mira qué bonitos, mira. So she was really calm and quiet, barely cried. She was trying to look at me all the time. I was trying to look down at her. Then they pushed my back up, and we were able to look at each other's eyes. It was perfect. Her weight was great, 3 kilos and 420 grams, much smaller than they thought. And then, yeah, skin to skin with daddy here. It was really, really awesome. Se le queda un poco la babilla. Bueno. ¿Qué dices tú? Ay, pero voy a mirarla. Sí. Mira. Se está durmiendo. Mi Chinuki. Se está durmiendo. Sí. Nos vamos ahora, ¿verdad? Nos vamos ya a casa en cuanto nos dejen, ¿verdad? Ay, que se duerme. Se duerme. Quería grabarla despierta, pero se duerme mi bichuco. So this was the sunrise at 6:20 a.m. on the 12th of October when she was born. And then we went to the postpartum. This is on the postpartum room. Dad is having some fun with baby girl. We are getting ready to go. The first night was hard because we kind of shared the room with other baby that was a bit sick and crying a lot, but I was feeling great, so the very next day we left home. Yeah, so that was our birth story. Like I said, we spent one night in postpartum room, and then we left home. We left to go home, and we were very lucky to be able to leave so early. Everything was healthy. She and I, we were happy to go home and introduce our baby girl to her big brother, and everything was so amazing. I will share more with you about that, and now I'm gonna focus on maybe sharing about breastfeeding, because I completely forgot how much commitment it requires to breastfeed and how many things new moms might have questions about and all that. So I think my next video is gonna be about that. If you like it, or you wanna know more, hit the subscribe button or give me a like, share your comments. I would love to hear from you, see what you think about this. But yeah, this was my positive outcome with a totally unplanned and unexpected labor that went completely on the other side of what I had imagined. And I think that's something we all need to be ready for, because yeah, more often than not, I feel like life always gives you what you need, even though it's not maybe what you would like or what you want, but it's definitely the best for you that time. And I want to say also, like, normally I would not have agreed to an induction just because my baby was big, or because I had too much amniotic fluid, or because of other things that I know that are not really that of a risk as they make you think. always do your research and get the facts, and then decide for yourself, because you are in control of this experience that you are going to carry the memory for the rest of your life. So it's very important that you choose for yourself, and whatever you do well informed with facts, and decide what's best for you and for your baby. Okay. And like I said, on my case with the cholestasis diagnosis, I think that was a real fact that could cause harm to my baby. So that's why I agreed to the induction as soon as possible, because I was feeling like really bad with my itchiness and all that, and I didn't want her to suffer any liver or respiratory condition just because I didn't treat it on time or something like that. So I agreed to the induction because I thought it was a reasonable case for it. And yeah, I'm gonna have to let you go. Baby girl is here. She's waking up. I don't know if you can see her, maybe just a little bit. That's baby girl waking up. Oh, what experience, guys. I hope you liked it, and I'm gonna feed my baby now. See you next time. Bye.